Burnside, and today we're going to talk about this particular song and break it down in its entirety. The tablature to the song is available on my website, so please look for it in the information settings and the link provided in this video. Now, this song that I'm focusing on appears on the First Recordings LP, and I mentioned that my goal is to transcribe every song from that album. So this is just another one out there. So if you look on my website, I have quite a few songs of R.L. Burnside from that LP transcribed and available for you to learn from. Okay, so Long-Haired Donnie. It's a piece played in open G tuning. He doesn't play it in any down step or raises the pitch. It's in standard G tuning, meaning the top string is going to be a D and the fifth string is going to be G, and so forth. We're going to tune up to each other. It's not a slide piece. You don't need a slide. You can play it on really any guitar here. I have an acoustic guitar, and I like to play with plastic fingerpicks, as I mentioned on every lesson. So before we begin, let's tune our guitars to each other. I am tuned in open G tuning, and this is the tuning that R.L. Burnside plays in when you listen to the original recording. So we'll all be tuned together. This is my top string, which is a D. This is my fifth string, which is an G. This is my fourth string, which is a D. This is my third string, which is a G. This is my second string, which is a B. And this is my bottom string, which is a D. Okay, so now we're tuned together. Now, I wanted to speak briefly about the position of the right hand. I like to drape my hand diagonally, do like a shadow puppet here. The palm of the hand is going to be resting on the top of the sixth string with your thumb sticking out, and it's going to be positioned atop the sixth string or the fifth string. It's going to be there to strike the bass accompaniment, and your index finger is going to be playing the first, second, and third strings. And so you're going to be facilitating this pinch motion working together. That's how I like to play it. Now again, you don't have to play like that, but that's how I like to play R.L. Burnside's music. Alright, so going to the introduction, if you have the tablature available, he's using some typical R.L. Burnside licks in G tuning, and the intro starts out like this. So there's, in this introduction, this is also going to account for the main riff that shows up later in the song when he sings over it. But right off the bat, that's how the song comes into focus with the introduction. So what you're going to be doing here is ultimately, we're going to play this lick here that consists of seven notes in this lick, which is going to sound like this. Okay. And so, in order to achieve that, what you're going to do is you're going to locate the second string, and you're going to play this pull-off slide, which starts on the first fret and ends on the third fret. And I'm going to play it here. It's going to take care of three notes. So what you're going to do with your index finger, you're going to play the second string and you're going to position your index finger on the first fret, second string. And you're going to pluck the second string. Your index finger is going to slide and pull off into the third fret. So starting with the first fret, second string, you pluck the second string with the right hand once. It'll be like this: 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. But it's supposed to be played pretty fast. 1, 2, 3. And once you do that, the middle finger on the left hand is going to play the bottom string on the third fret. And then you're going to, with the right hand, pluck the bottom string. So altogether, these first 4 notes will be like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. And notice that I pluck on my right hand just twice. I take care of 4 notes, plucking the strings twice. First on the second string, 1, 2, 3, and then my right hand plucks the first string on the third fret. And I play that note. My ring finger comes up and pinches the third fret bottom string. And this is a very typical lick that's used by a lot of other artists. So it's something good to know. Alright, so we got those first 4 notes down. And once he does this, he starts going descending up the neck board. So the next 3 notes of this lick will sound like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the last 3 notes of that, after these first 4 notes, what you're going to be doing, these next 3 notes will sound like this. You're going to pluck the second string, first fret, second string. You'll play this once, and you'll play the string open on the second string. 1, 2, and then you end on the third string open. 1, 2, 3. And when you put it together, these 7 notes sound like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's how you play it faster, but I'll play it a little bit slower here. So the way it's tabbed out on the tablature, this 1, 2, 3, you're really just playing, you're going from the first to the bottom on the third fret string real fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So really it sounds like 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But there's really 7 notes being played. So that's how it begins, and the next 3 notes to cap off that measure are going to be bringing you up to the bass, and the next 3 notes will sound like this. You're going to locate the 4th string, and you're going to play that open, and then you're going to play the 3rd fret 4th string, and you're going to bend it down, or bend it upwards. Play the 3rd string open again. So 1, 2, 3. And in this this song, you're going to be bending. He likes to bend a lot on the 3rd fret. So starting from the beginning, will sound like this. We put it together, it'll be like this. And there's really no specific way to play. You can play this portion with the thumb or the index finger. And I talked briefly about the position of the right hand. The thumb is going to be taking care of the 6th, 5th, and 4th strings, and the index finger the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd strings. So those are the first 10 notes of this riff. So after this, he lets that 3rd string open ring. And when he lets this ring, I would say keep your middle finger still holding on to that 3rd fret, 4th string. Keep bending it until you play that note again in the last 3 notes of this measure. And the last 3 notes of this measure will sound like this. 1, 2, 3. So the last 3 notes of that measure will be the 4th string, 3rd fret. You're bending upwards, and then you play the 5th string, 3rd fret, and then the 5th string open. So the riff will sound like this. Okay, and what I was trying to reiterate early, I'm just going to play the bass notes of this measure. So after this next part will sound like this. So those 6 notes, when I play this, I'm still bending the 3rd fret, 4th string upwards while I'm playing the other notes. And eventually, in the last 3 notes of this measure, you play that 3rd fret, 4th string again. So the last 6 notes of this measure will be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And notice that I don't take my finger off on the 3rd fret, 4th string. It always is bending upwards, and then I come back to it in the last 3 notes of that measure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm bending the string as I continue on in the measure. 1, bending, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the effect that brings about the riff, the dynamic of the riff. So that's the riff in all. And the tablature has that laid out to you. So I'm emphasizing bending on the 3rd fret, 4th string. And that's a very typical R.L. Burnside maneuver. So that riff